One. Welcome. My name is Scott Zimmerman. I'm joined today with Alan Schramm and Tom Sakarik. And I wanted to get these two gentlemen to share some of their stories about their relationships with the Eagles clubs and why Tom has become so passionate about helping his local area and every other area that he gets a chance to work with grow membership, increase the amount of times people come back, but most importantly, be able to donate more money to their local charities. So Alan Schramm is on my right, probably your left. I want to start with you. Can you tell me a little bit about how you got involved with the Fraternal Order of the Eagles?
So my family's been heavily invested in the Eagles for a very long time here in Wellington, Ohio. My uncle was a trustee here. I've been an officer here. My brother was an officer. A lot of folks in my family have been past presidents here. So probably about 15 years ago, my uncle approached me and said, "Hey, why don't you come up and join the Eagles?" And 15 years to me is, coming out of high school, getting into college. I'm like, why do I want to join this club? And it's like, oh, it's a fun time. You come up, help volunteer. So before I joined, I started volunteering a little bit with him, just coming in, learning, and seeing what he was doing as a trustee and an officer. And it just, giving back to the community was huge for me. So ever since then, I've been a member, went through the ranks as an officer. I'm a past president now. I'm actually a Northwest District officer, as well as the Northwest Zone Diabetes Chairman. So heavily invested in the Eagles. They do a lot for the community and a couple of the charities I'm really passionate about.
Can you share with me a little bit about what you learning to volunteer and give back as a young man may have carried over into your professional career and how that's maybe helped shape you and form you a little bit?
Sure. I would say grew up in Wellington, Ohio. So, not a lot of glitz and glamour here, right? There's no hiding it. You don't have the same opportunities if you live in a suburb of Cleveland or in the big city of Cleveland. So opportunity was very small. Going to college was definitely a benefit, but learning and growing with some of the members that had the experience, the workforce, et cetera, learning what I could give back to the community. As far as diabetes is concerned, I have a tie-in with my biological father who passed right before my 18th birthday. So I knew as a young kid that I wanted to get more involved in how I could give back. The Eagles kind of gave me that platform to be able to do that. So you'll see me with wristbands on, Bridge of the Cure. We're trying to take our diabetes cure, which we think is the cure, out to the market, which takes about $2 billion. And we've been raising money towards that cause. So we have our own diabetes research center out in the University of Iowa. Very connected to the folks that raise money there, and Dr. Abel, who is our chief of medicine out there. So do a lot for the community, and it carries over into Key Bank, where I work full time as a strategist, and kind of shows you pick your poison, right? So you got to go out and figure out what you want to be in the community and what your brand is. And the Eagles kind of help shape that because they allow you to do so many different things, and they give back to so many different charities.
Well, one more question for Alan. It was based on something Tom shared with me when he approached me about this idea of creating a done-for-you service to help out as many areas as possible. And so I would like, Alan, your perspective about, the biggest and the most common challenges that areas are having, maybe regarding membership or retention or getting people to come back or volunteer more. What are you seeing?
So it's not just what I see, it's kind of what I know. We have a past state president here for Ohio, Jim Donaldson, and he gives us a lot of information on some of the areas that don't make it. And when I say don't make it, they actually close. And it's volunteerism and, getting the right officers in the seats. And then, how do you raise money? How do you kind of look at your area as a business, not just as a place where you're going to raise funds for charity? And if you don't have somebody or a trustee that's willing to step up, an officer that's willing to step up to help, drive home that you need more members, to step up and volunteer, and then you need more members and officers and trustees that you can trust to do the right thing, you're never really going to make it. And I think it's fair to say that a lot of the places we see that are audited and that close because they can't make enough money, they don't do things like we do. And when I say things like we do, I mean, we do murder mysteries here that raise a large chunk of our funds. We have something coming up called the duck races or Ducky Downs. So we have live duck races here that raises thousands of dollars for charity. A lot of that money from the dinners goes back into our general account because we have to be able to put these events on. But being able to raise that amount of money in one night is almost unheard of for any charity. So we do it well. We have great trustees and officers that are in the seats that we can rely on, and then a whole slew of volunteers that we wouldn't be able to do anything without. So I would say it's the membership, keeping the membership going and up, because we lose members and we gain members, and then the engagement with our people. If we don't have the members in here to volunteer, then we don't have a kitchen, we don't have people for the murder mysteries, and we definitely can't give back as much as we do today.
Well, I can feel your passion for what you do just coming across and how you're talking with me. And Tom Sakaric, I know that the whole Eagles is near and dear to your heart, and you and I have a little bit of a history that I'm going to share a little bit about our background together. And it started in business, and Tom's worked for a company that used to use Cyrano to support the salespeople and to help them communicate with all their prospects and customers. Tom's business partner, Bob, had a long history using the same Cyrano platform and to communicate with their customers and prospects. And it was Tom who approached me with this idea of custom configuring Cyrano just for the Eagles clubs, because I remember you were concerned about your own area, and then you started looking around and saw a pattern, and you were pretty upset. And so what Tom did was he came and he told me the whole story about the Eagles and why it's all about, trying to generate as much contributions for charities and even for local schools, for kids that might need uniforms or to attend events they otherwise may not be able to do. And it touched my heart as well. So after we sat down and talked it through, what I charge companies or organizations $350 a month or $4,200 a year, we figured out that we're going to let the Eagles do this for $1,800 a year, which is a 60% discount on the software license. And Tom is going to volunteer his time and talent to run this for all the Aeries that want to build their membership and generate more money. So Tom, why don't you talk a little bit about, how you met Alan and what that relationship's like and where you see this going?
Sure. Thanks, Scott. I really notice in the business travels throughout, I travel mainly around Ohio, Midwestern states, and when I'm out traveling or planning my road trip, I always looked where I was going to stay, and I searched out an Aeries, a local Aeries club that was in either walking distance or driving distance, because I was guaranteed, I knew I was going to get some inexpensive drinks, expensive good food, and not have to go to the chains or McDonald's or Burger King. And most of all, they're my brothers and sisters there. I'm an Eagle, and I'm welcome in any of the approximately 1,500 Aeries in the United States. And I knew I was going to be welcome there, and it was going to be just some good, relaxing conversation after, whether it was a great day of sales calls I made on the road or a horrible day. I knew I was going to be able to relax in the local area in that area.
Right.
Well, I'm a talker by nature in sales, and talking to the members there, engaging with them, I found a common theme that, man, there was some dissension, like, wow, the Aeries, there's no communication with the members, engagement, distance between the older generation, younger generation, and just not communicating well. So my light bulb went on, and that's when you just mentioned before that, okay, our service does very well helping sales reps communicate with their clients, prospects alike, and staying engaged. I wonder if we can turn this around to help the local club memberships, whether it's an Eagles, VFW, Moose, or whatever. And I've been in those too. They're all suffering from the same issue there.
Yeah.
So, with Scott, and we decided to create something together and update it. Well, I started to call into all the areas. Started with Ohio, and he said there's 1,500 of them. So I knew it was going to be painstakingly a long process to get a hold of everyone. So I approached the Grand Aerie and was starting to talk with them, and was able to get some information and contact name and info. So I started to use our Cyrano service to reach out to the local Aeries. That's how I came in contact with Alan. He responded to me, said after a few emails, and said, hey, I'd like to get together. I'm interested. We met up at the Amherst area and discussed it further, and he decided, hey, it's worth its shot. And
So Tom, you're with the Amherst area and you're with Wellington, right?
Dual member also.
Yeah, we're dual in both places, though.
Oh, okay. So Alan, can you tell me a little bit, because I know that you were one of the first ones to engage, Tom, to help send out the emails and get people more engaged and more excited, and more informed about particular events. And one of the features of our system and the service is it lets people select what they're interested in. So they only receive offers or emails or information about events or specials that they're interested in. So it won't email them just general like easings. Tom will actually send out targeted emails to people if they're interested in a certain sporting event or volunteering for something. That's what they get. Alan, could you share with us a little bit about what's been your experience since your club signed up on this service, and what it's been like working with Tom, and any feedback you're getting from your members?
So, I mean, my personal experience is the emails are great. I plan a lot of the events that we have here. So I'm heavily invested in the bands that we have. Talked about the murder mysteries, the duck races we have coming up, our anniversary dinner, which is in March. It's great to be able to partner with someone like Tom and have him send out reminders about these events, whether it's, you need to buy tickets for the event. The duck races, we had table reservations and the date we were going to do that. The murder mysteries, how many tickets we have left? Do you need to go to the bar to buy them? Who do you need to see? Like, is it an officer? Those are great things to be able to put into an email and just send out to the members that we have emails for right now. And then, we post things up here all the time, but you don't have, 2,400 members coming into your area every single week. You probably have 500, 600 if you're lucky. So it's great that some of those members that only come up for some of the special events are going to get that through Tom's email, because they know when to come up, buy tickets, versus coming in and saying, oh, that doesn't go on sale till next week. So they have to come back next week, and sometimes they don't come back at all. So
I'm sorry, Alan, I'm sorry to interrupt, but one of the things that I love about what the software does is if you get an idea for something that you want to promote, and right now we're looking at January of 2020, but let's just say there's something coming up next fall. Maybe it's the Ohio State-Michigan game or something.
Right.
And you can get it out of your head and get it into Tom today. And he'll craft the email and schedule that thing for like next October 25th, and it's done. It's in the system. It's going to get pushed out 8 months from now. But right. You don't have to carry this around in your head. As soon as you get an idea for an event or a special or a promotion or asking volunteers to help, just get that into Tom while you're thinking about it. Tom will get it done, put in the system, and scheduled for whatever date you want that pushed out. And I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just think how it just frees up your mental RAM. You don't have to carry this stuff around.
Absolutely. And we plan stuff out that far in advance. I was just telling folks the other day that I just finished talking to Monica Robbins and their band here, and we booked them as well for our October date. So that's great to know, and we definitely take advantage of that with you guys.
Can you share a little bit about what the feedback or results you've already been getting since?
Absolutely. So all of our, I literally get stopped, which is great that I know, Tom partners with us behind the scenes, but my name's on the emails, right? So Tom and I collaborate a lot on what we're going to send, when we're going to send it, and setting it all up. But we know where the work's coming from, right? But they see my name. So they're like, hey, Alan, thanks for the email. Thanks for everything you're doing. They know that I plan and help organize a lot of the events anyway. But at the same time, anybody I walk past, like, hey, got your email, great stuff we're doing. Appreciate the reminder. I'm going to go on a limb and say at least a couple hundred members have probably, between the monthlies and special events we've had in the last couple of months, have come up to me and say, really appreciate the emails. Hey, Susie or Jack wants to get on these emails. How do they do it? Because a lot of folks don't have emails in our MMS system, so we couldn't share those. So we're trying diligently to get updates to some of those members so we can send out the email so they can get reminders. But an example I'll use is the OSU Clemson party that we didn't have, but we had. We typically do a pretty big rivalry party with OSU Michigan. Then Ohio State made it to the playoffs and played Clemson, which unfortunately they lost. But my uncle had shot me a text when I was out of town and said, hey, you need to stop with your emails. As a joke, we're getting too many members in here and I don't have enough bartenders. So it's a good problem to have for our area. We didn't expect as many people, but the members that came were telling him that night that, hey, got Alan's email and we're up here to party. So what do you got for us? And he came up with some specials. Every member, we probably had 150 members in the bar side easy, if not more, that had a great time that evening.
Nice. Tom, I'm going to let you wrap this up with an open-ended question, but why don't you share with us how the Cyrano service works for an area, how easy it is, that you do everything for them, how easy it is to get members to sign into something and give their preferences. So why don't you just give an overview of this? And then Alan, if you want to chip in from your experience as being a customer, Why don't you two talk about that, please?
Okay. Well, sure. Well, starting off, I'll explain how I started with Alan. We got together and we sat actually with Jim Donaldson, the secretary here also, and they provided me, all the area has to do to start the ball rolling was send me an Excel spreadsheet with all the members' names and contact info, basically email. And they provided their membership number so I could add as much as I wanted. And then we start from there, crafted some emails, basic emails that introducing that we're going to be moving towards digital. We're going to be communicating with you more meaningfully and regularly, weekly. Mondays, usually how I start off a Monday with a Happy Monday weekly email. Here's what's on tap. Usually a couple sentences, wishing everybody, having a good week. If the weather, I may throw a weather blurb in there or something. Lunch specials I'll throw into. And at the bottom it is saying, help us engage you better and send you stuff that you want to receive, like you said. So they can go into their preferences and they can check, okay, you're interested in volunteering, Monday, Tuesday, certain days of the week, lunch specials, dinners. And this way, to harp on really getting on every area I've talked to, the number one issue is volunteering. You got the same old faces and names that do it. And a lot of them are getting up there in age. They can't physically do it anymore, nor should they. They put in their time. Right? It's time for the younger generation. So Alan say, okay, we have a general spring cleanup coming up. We need members. I have already populated a list of 50 members because they've checked that they were interested in helping. So I can send him an email, let him know that we're going to craft an email sending out, hey, Scott, you said you were interested in helping the general spring cleanup. Here's the dates. Yep. So you're already engaging people that said they were interested. You're not just sending out a blanket, 1,000 members that somebody could be going to accuse me that, physically can't help.
Right.
And he's wondering, why did I get this email?
Right.
Right.
And something interesting, Tom, is we're a really, like all of our crews, lunch crews, dinner crews, unless it's a private event here, are all volunteers. So we're one of the few clubs that can actually do that and don't pay somebody to come in and work all of our events. So the lunch emails, Tom took the effort to go out and partner with our kitchen manager here. So we do pay him, and he organizes all of our kitchen events. Partner with him to make sure that our lunch specials can go out to the members that want them, and I think that's been huge. So the community could come in because we invite them in for our lunch specials, even if they're not members, so we can prospect them and get them to sign up. And we have very select events that we do that for. But by having Tom reach out to Kyle, who is our kitchen manager, to be able to put those specials out every week has made a huge impact as well. We've got some really good feedback from that. So
I'd like to wrap this up by asking Alan a question because of your business background. And my background's in marketing. I'm all about the numbers. And I always look at if a club or even a company were to invest in communicating better or differently with their customers and their prospects. Is it an investment or is it a cost? So there's only 3 scenarios I can think of that an area would be using to communicate with their existing customers, probably doing nothing with prospects, but just the customers alone. Maybe they're doing a quarterly mailing or something like that. That's a possibility. So by going to digital, we can eliminate all those mailing and printing costs, right, which I don't know how many pieces are going out each quarter or whatnot, but that's got to more than pay for what Tom needs to charge to do what he's doing electronically. Or worse, they're doing nothing. So you walk into the area and your special's on the chalkboard or on the whiteboard, and you got to be there to find out what that special is today or tomorrow, and you don't have time to plan for anything. And the last one is they're trying to update social media. They're trying to communicate with the members, but there's no system for doing it in a regular, consistent fashion. Tom, I know you've solved all of those problems as a done-for-you service. They don't have to hire anybody. In fact, they can just take everything that was on their plate and give it to you, and it's done. But Alan, have you seen any tangible improvements and results in people coming back more often, spending more money, bringing more people with them? And what's been like for your club?
I would say it's twofold. The first fold is we see an increase in just member engagement. So asking, number one, them saying, hey, we got these emails. Other members are saying, I want those emails too, right? I think that's huge. The event side of it, we've definitely seen an uptick in lunch. We measure things a little bit differently. So you're talking about, where members are at and if they're making their quota, the percentage. I go to all the district meetings here in District 9, completely understand that a lot of clubs are struggling. Is it communication? Probably. Is it, volunteerism? Absolutely. How do we continue to move the needle there? It's marketing, it's communication. You asked if it's an expense or if it's an investment or if it's a cost. It's definitely an investment. I mean, most, I guess, areas of our size, we're 2,400 members. We're going to spend over $3,000 in mailing costs every single year. We haven't even asked if people want to eliminate, the newsletter yet, as far as getting the mailing. And they're already asking us if they can do that. And I'm like, well, we're going to get there, right? We've been in this for a short period of time, but we can already see the fruitful results. So this is a business. You kind of have to run it like a business, or you don't see those tangible results. And this is an investment to move us one step closer to being digitally engaged, which biggest thing people don't like is change, right? I know that in the business world, working at Key, I know that here, trying to get folks to come out for new events, but we've changed so many cool things around here. One of them is our barbecue fest that we do, and people still come, and we've been doing it, for probably over a decade now, and nobody's complaining that it's getting stale or old. So, like I said, this is a new positive investment for us. If we got everybody, let's just say we got half the members to opt in to not receiving the newsletter and just getting it digitally, partnering with Cyrano, that would make back what we paid for the service in a year. And then on top of that, we're already seeing the uptick in the events that we're doing. So people love Facebook, some people don't. Some people love email, some people don't. It depends on your crowd. And this is another tool. It's the cost of doing business is what I call it at work. So it's not something necessarily you want to pay for, but at the same time, you're going to have to at some point in order to engage your members and to continue your membership drive.
So Tom, I'm going to close by just having a real quick thing with you. So if I were a secretary or an officer in an area and I were to engage with you, I'm going to say what I think you're going to do for me. And if I miss anything, let me know. But basically, we just send you information. We either call you or we email you and say, hey, here's what's coming up over the next month or week. You'll automatically push that out to our member list based on their own preferences that they checked. And so you'll go find everybody who wants to volunteer for this, or you'll find everybody who's interested in a certain event. You'll turn that into an email. You'll send that out on my behalf as if I did it, right?
Correct.
Will you also, if I give you the login info for our Twitter account or our Facebook account, will you copy and paste that event into my social media so I don't have to do that?
Absolutely. Yep. No problem.
So for $1,800 a year, you're going to create a database using any internet connected device that'll bring in all of our members and create an updated membership list, their own personal preferences, all their contact information into a clean database that you back up hourly. And we can download that, or you can give that to us in a spreadsheet anytime we ask, right?
Correct.
And you can, when a guest comes in, they can fill out something on a phone or a pad and say, I'm a guest, but I'm interested in learning more. And then you can automatically email them all the benefits of joining my area and maybe give them a pricing example on what dinner for two here might be versus like a TGI Friday, and help recruit them to join the club.
Correct.
Well, that's kind of an overview of the service. And guys, I really appreciate your time and attention. You've been very helpful in answering all my questions. So thank you. Is there anything either of you want to add before we sign off?
I'd like to add one more thing. It's not so much, it's twofold, our service too. We are pushing out the information and engaging the members. But there's other tools like we just brought before. There's texting out there. There's Snapchat. There's Facebook. There is apps. Everything else. What differentiates the email, I think, is that's the best way to tell a story. We just had an issue for a free, disability or
accidental death. So we offer all of our members. We partner with an insurance company and offer accidental death insurance to all of our members. They don't have to do anything else.
There's a lot of questions and concerns about that. I won't get into the details. There's no way I was going to text it out, snap it out, app it out, or whatever. It's a way to engage with the member. They can send back questions and comments too. You're not going to go back and write a paragraph on a text. So that's a key point. It's twofold. I'm giving the information to the members, telling a story, and they can tell a story back in an email. the perfect way to do it.
Well, and the emails come from Alan. It's not coming from you. It comes from
what I was gonna say. Yeah, the email's coming from somebody that's trusted, that's been around, and you know, I call myself a younger member, but I've been around 15 years now. I've been through all the officer seats. I'm involved in the Grand Area. I'm involved in the state and local level as well. They know it's coming from a reputable source, so it's great to be able to have our branding on there with somebody that they trust and that's working with the trustees and the secretary to ensure the right information is going out to our
Yeah,
members.
of course. I mean, I get those emails and you're asking a question. I'm going to Alan saying, forward the email or get him on the phone.
Right.
How do you want me to answer this?
Right.
So I'm not putting words into his mouth.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's been a great partnership so far.
Is there anything else that either of you would like to wrap up with before we sign off?
Like I said, it's great working with you guys, with Tom especially. He's a great partner as far as getting the emails out. Our members love it. Again, I always joke around with them because I'm like, yeah, I have a little help behind the scenes because everybody thinks that, you know, I have a full-time job and I do this too, but it's definitely not the case. But he's really easy to work with, always available when we have questions or concerns, and you know, partners on a lot of good stuff. So it's been great.
I would like to end with this. It's great. You know, I'll speak to all my Eagle brothers and sisters out there in Aeries that you achieved net gain last year, first time in 26 years. Fantastic. I think we're on track again this year to do it again. But now what? You got them back, but you got to engage them. You got to keep engaged because on the average, I'm thinking there's 10 to 15% of your membership that's pretty much active. And if you just boost that up another 10%, I'm not going to go into the math here, but what's that going to do? So that's my final thoughts on that. So you got the members to come back. Well, let's get them through the door more often.
Absolutely.
Love it. Gentlemen, thank you very much. God bless both of you, and we'll talk soon. Thanks again.
Thank you, Scott.
Thank you.
All right, bye for now.